Both of you? Jeez. I'm good. Let's do this.
At 6 o'clock, I'm calling a meeting to order. Will you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, can you take the roll call, please?
Trustee Burt. Present. Trustee Favdal.
Present.
Supervisor Miller. Clerk Triplett here. Treasurer Clee.
Present.
And Trustee Campbell. Present. Thank you.
Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
I was asking if we could move the homecoming to as soon as we possibly can, above or beyond, but I didn't realize it was sitting
Action
where it
item
is.
B
so-
up to the first thing.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Is everyone okay with that?
Appreciate that.
Alrighty, do we have any corrections to the minutes from the special meeting of September 13th? Any corrections? And if there are no corrections, all those in favor of approving the minutes from September 13th signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Then how about the minutes from the regular meeting of September 5th? Are there any corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes from September 5th signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? We're going to move on to number 6, and that's old business with our attorney, Michael Gildner. You have the floor.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Thank you for putting me early in the agenda. I explained to Karen that I have another meeting I need to attend to. I'm not really sure that we need to go on the record to talk about Wolgast. We've talked about it previously, but just to be safe, here I am. As you know, Wolgast went to the Planning Commission looking for site plan approval. They were denied. They then appealed that decision to the Genesee County Circuit Court. We've had some discussions about that, and my opinion is that the Planning Commission denial was suspect. I think good intentioned, no doubt, but vulnerable to attack. And so my suggestion was that we settle that lawsuit. I have a consent judgment that has maybe 5 pages, mostly of legalese. Everything that you need to know, I think, about this, I'll read from paragraph 2. It says the property may be used and/or developed for the construction of a retail facility in accordance with the site plan prepared by D&M Site, Inc., consisting of 7 pages with an original plan date of January 16, 2023, and a revision date of March 16, 2023, as attached as Exhibit B, and those plans are attached. Those are the plans that were before Planning Commission. They are unchanged, and I believe they are consistent with your zoning ordinance. If the township were to approve settlement on those terms, the case would be dismissed with prejudice and without cost and attorney fees to any party. So I'm here tonight seeking direction from the board, and if you give it, then I'd ask that Manya and Karen sign the consent judgment, and I would as well.
Just to clarify, your recommendation is that we approve the consent judgment?
Yes, it is.
And you're looking for a motion and for us to vote on that?
Yes.
Would someone like to make the motion?
We would move to accept Attorney Gildner's recommendation on the pending litigation and to resolve the issue at the corner of, if I may, Elms and Beecher Roads.
I'll second it.
Is that good enough for you?
It is.
Alrighty. Any questions or discussion?
Thank you for the hard work, because when we sat in there quietly, there was a lot to go with that. Appreciate that.
No other questions? We're going to do a roll call vote, please. Madam Clerk?
Trustee Favdal.
On the approval of the consent judgment. Thank you.
Trustee Favdal.
Yes.
Supervisor Miller.
Yes.
Clerk Triplett, yes. Treasurer Clee.
Yes.
Trustee Campbell.
Yes.
And Trustee Burt.
Yes.
Thank you.
Terrific. If I can approach, I just would ask for your 2 signatures, and then all set.
good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And good luck with the rest of your agenda.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now we're going to move on to public comment. If you'd like to address the board, I'd ask that you'd come to the podium and give us your name, and you'll have 4 minutes to address the board. You can start.
You got a timer? Okay.
When I have the board's undivided attention, I will speak.
I don't think that's a requirement, but I'm going to start the clock.
Thank you.
Sorry, Jerry. I was trying to get my timer going.
My name is Gerald Roberts, live in Flint Township. What I have to say tonight might upset a few board members. State of Michigan has a law stating that an elected official representing this particular township must live in this community and establish residency. It is a state law. You must reside in the township, and you must have residency in this township. If you're not an established resident in this township, you're not allowed to represent those particular people that have put you in the office. It is a felony to accept money for something that is illegal. Not having residency, accepting money from the township. In my estimation, our former treasurer did that. For a period of approximately 2 months, our former treasurer sold her home, moved out of that home, relinquished the residency of that house, and further did not establish permanent residency in the township. This information was brought to light by an investigative reporter named Mike Galbraith to this particular township board. He stated the law as it was written. When the former township treasurer was confronted with these facts, for about 2 months with pay, at a board meeting, the supervisor asked her to show her driver's license for proof of residency. She defiantly stated, "I'll think about it." I helped former treasurer get elected. I supported her. I thought she was the most qualified person at that point in time. After a past year and a half, I was greatly disappointed. Frequency, not attendance in her office. Derelict in not attempting to cut back property taxes, approximately $400 in delinquent taxes. I observed her on a regular workday, on a casino bus, going to Soaring Eagle. On a regular workday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Our supervisor and deputy treasurer went through holy hell to keep this township afloat while she was in office. She caused problems. Township deputy treasurer almost quit our controller because of the added load that was put on her because of her absence. The former treasurer was a bully, and from my observation, she had formed a coalition. There's 7 board members on this. She had a coalition of 4 that controlled that by intimidation and bullying. She controlled 4-2 vote on the majority of the board. It's my opinion that the former treasurer committed a felony and should be held accountable. She was paid for the past 2 months. She did not establish a residency in this township. Rumor has it that her residency was in Atlanta, Georgia. In a previous meeting, she said that she wanted to go right straight through and collect right on out until the very end, the money, while living in Atlanta, Georgia was her residency.
Your time's up, Mr.
In
Roberts.
retrospect,
Thank you.
I hope to see a new day
Thank you, Mr.
by the
Roberts.
voting tonight for a new trustee.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who'd like to address the board?
After, Ralph Lewis, 1423 Conway. After that, I bring good news. Number one, I want to thank you or whoever is responsible for paving and striping the senior center parking lot. Us seniors, we need all that stuff.
Job,
And I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for the floor that was put in, our main auditorium area. That has made a huge, huge difference in there as well. But the parking lot difference, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Brett.
Ralph Lewis, was that Ralph Lewis?
Yes, Ralph Lewis. Was there anyone else who'd like to address the board? Anyone? Are you coming,
Come
Kevin?
on, Kevin. You were dodging.
Well, I was just hiding back there because I'm shy. Kevin Stiff, the dive shop on Corona Road, also a resident. I couldn't make it to the 13th. I heard that it went pretty smoothly. But I hope that you make the right decision tonight. The one thing that we don't need is to put somebody into that seat that shouldn't be there. Just to put somebody in that seat because they're your friend or they're a Democrat, and I don't mean that maliciously, but I mean it to be, we need somebody in this township that makes the right vote. Not to be somebody to be the police chief's buddy that votes on money for the police chief, or the fire chief, or the road commission, but that makes the right decision. And I've reminded you guys twice a year or more that you're in these seats as a fiduciary. 1,000 doorknobs in this township. You're not there because you're the board. You're the board. You're only there to be our voice. Every person in this audience times 1,000 or 2,000 or 10,000. You're here to do our bidding, not your bidding. You people, you're nobody. You're this gentleman right here. You're speaking for him. And each and every one of these people. You're nothing. And I don't mean that to tear you down. But you're here to listen to our problems, our tax problems, to do our road. For John, to help him with the road committee. You're here to do what we need to be done. You're here to help the police chief secure more money for police officers. The soaring problems that these police officers are out doing, you're here to help them, the police chief, to help him. I was down at the police station a couple of weeks ago, and that gentleman was filthy, dirty. Here's our police chief, our fire chief, fighting a fire himself because they're short-handed. This is the things that you people are supposed to be doing. So I hope tonight that you've made the right decision Not just bringing somebody in because they're your friend, or you're bringing somebody in because you don't like somebody because they're going to make the right decision. I hope that you make the right decision. And if you don't, I'm not going to work hard at getting somebody new voted in. I'm going to work hard getting you voted out. And I hope you understand me.
All righty, is there anyone else who'd like to address the board?
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
One last time, I guess not. So we're going to move on to reports. I don't have a report this evening. Madam Clerk, do you have a report?
I do not have a report this evening, no.
Oops.
Time's up.
Mr. Treasurer, do you have a report?
I do have to do something on number 9. I do want to say and reiterate what a few of the individuals stated out there. The 13th was I think it went very well. We worked hard, we put in a lot of hours looking at paperwork prior to, and then in turn looking at paperwork and listening to the folks that were here. It was hard for me 7.5 years ago, 8 years ago, to decide to run for office up here, because Mr. Stiff just made a good point, and it's been heard several times, and it is logistically correct in the respect that whether I'm in the south end, the north end, the east, or the west side of this township, somebody knows who Tom Klee is. And I didn't know whether or not this was a good move. And 4 years later, I ran again after being elected, and guess what? You guys said thank you, and I did it again. And then just the other day, the question was, would you be willing to take on additional responsibility? Boy, I'll tell you, I talked to everybody on this table, and I talked to my wife. And, you know, they say family comes first. And I actually, most of you all know it, and there's a gentleman in the front of the room here this evening that is representing Carmen Ainsworth Community Schools he's representing the student council group. And I actually had conversations with him, because he's like one of my sons. You guys all know him, the old man. And it was tough, but I agreed to take on the responsibilities. And I'm going to do my very best for the next 18 months, if that's what it takes, till December 20th, whether I run, get reelected, or don't. And I know that this team is trying to work together more efficiently and with better heart. I'll tell you from sitting back, we've had several conversations behind the scenes. Not 4 in the room, only 3. But we're communicating, and that's a huge difference, I think. So other than that, me rambling, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I'll talk again on number 9. Aren't you lucky?
Are there any trustee reports this evening?
I just want to remind everybody that on Thursday, September 28th, from 10 to 1, is Shred Day,
Oh, great.
okay? At the Carmen Ainsworth Senior Center,
28?
28th.
How many
Thursday.
boxes? I've had a couple
You can
of,
take whatever you want,
like,
whatever you want.
3 or
But I do
4?
know everybody seems to come right at the beginning, so it's like boggled up. It's, you know.
Barb, what was that
1
time
o'clock.
again? What was the time
10
again?
to 1.
10 to 1,
10 to 1.
in the parking lot, in the back, Thursday, September 28th.
Anything else?
That's different.
Nope.
And, Mr. Lewis, it was trustee Verd who made sure those lines got painted on that parking lot. So, thanks.
It's the board.
What was I going to say? Do you have a report this evening? A report this way?
No.
No? We'll move on to staff reports. Tracy, you said you didn't have a report, but you have something on the agenda?
Yeah, we have a couple things on the agenda tonight, so I'll forego that for now.
Chief-
Question though. Are we gonna have a ribbon cutting for Chick-fil-A?
They are doing their own thing, and they've asked that everything go to their media, so I don't really want to talk about it in public, just because they're doing their own thing. I know they've talked to the police about having traffic control, right?
Correct.
So they're working with everybody. It looks like it'll probably be around the end of the month, but
Did we see that right in the newspaper is the 28th?
Yes, yes. But, they've asked me to direct everybody to them. So I'm
Okay.
like, okay.
Thank you.
And we should be receiving something on it. They said they would send out stuff for the board members, so you guys know for sure.
Chief Salter, do you have a report for us this evening?
Yes, ma'am, I do. Since our last board meeting 13 days ago, had over 1,200 calls, which is about a 98 per day average. Not included in that is 91 business checks, 74 residence checks, and 174 traffic stops. Last Friday, we had a double homicide up in Sunridge Apartments. We had 2 residents of Flint Township who appear to be involved in a relationship. They were both deceased. When we arrived, there does not appear to be any threat to the public, and there are no suspects outstanding. On Saturday, Officer Chiza had our first cars, Coffee and Cops. We had over 30 cars that were there, so it was a great turnout, and even Trustee Vert she went there and seen some of the nice cars. Cars I could dream of, but they're all nice cars. And I do have one item on the agenda.
Chief Beckley?
Thank you. Since the last board meeting, September 5th, we've had 47 incidents. This includes 2 structure fires, 3 vehicle entrapment calls, and 2 vehicle fires. On the 7th, we assisted Bishop Airport with an aircraft incident. Luckily, the aircraft landed safely, and we were not needed. But that is one of the things that your fire department does. We are one of the first lines of a response to Bishop Airport if there is ever an aircraft issue. On the 15th, we had a pretty busy day. We had started out the day with a structure fire at Genesee Village Apartments. We had a fire in the attic, which appears to have been caused by a ceiling fan issue. Luckily, damage was kept minimal to that unit. Also on the 15th, we responded to 2 separate vehicle accident calls with entrapment that we had to assist people out of those vehicles. And then we wrapped up the day on the 15th with a structure fire on the 1100 block of Gilbert. Luckily, it was a kitchen fire that was mostly out by the time we got there. The resident was able to get the fire mostly under control. Minimal damage to the kitchen, but no major damage at that incident. Over the last 2 weeks, we've been outfitting our new ladder truck and our new used fire engine. Sutphin, the manufacturer of our new truck, will be here the next 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, to do our in-service training on that truck. So each of our firefighters will go through about a 6-hour orientation on that truck to be fully trained on it. We are hopeful to have that in service by the end of the month, by the time we wrap up with equipping it and making sure everyone is up to speed. We will be hosting over the next couple of weeks what we call USAR training in Flint Township. So it's called Urban Search and Rescue. Genesee County is starting up their team again after several years of being inactive. And they'll be using our facilities beside our station for that training. It will be rope rescue, trench rescue, structural collapse training, and all of that stuff. So there may be some additional activities going on at our stations here over the next few weeks. We will also have some members of our department attending that as well. So it's good training, good knowledge in case we ever have to use it here. And we have no action items on the agenda tonight.
Thank you. We have a report from the Road Advisory Committee, John Whiteside.
Good evening, Township Board. I'm John Whiteside, the Secretary of the Township Road Advisory Committee. And my report is about our meeting we had last Monday, September 11th. Supervisor Miller provided the Advisory Committee with a financial report. She also discussed in the report, the chloride treatment was $16,000, which is more than what it's been in the past. The portion of the Maple Avenue project we shared with Mundy Township was $5,147, and catch basin repairs through Genesee County Road Commission was $33,000. And the limestoning for the Bronx area was $70,000. With that being said, there was discussion about the permazine treatment. And the concern was we need 3 days of dry weather to do the permazine. And we had a discussion with the committee and Mike Pfeiffer, and we didn't know if we'd be able to do that this year. We talked about delaying it, but there was concern if we delay it, the limestone would get compacted more than what it should be. We might lose some of it. So Mike Pfeiffer will reach out to the Genesee County Road Commission and the Permazyme folks, because we want them on site when the treatment's done to make sure it's done correctly. Now, looking at the rest of the year's projects, there was a total of 8 projects. And the cost of all 8 of them would have been $995,660, which is above what we have for funds. The bids came in higher. Some of the projects had a little more work that needed to be done. So the total funding we have available is $784,612, so it's a shortfall of about $211,000. So that means the committee had to make some real tough decisions. We had to cut a project out and post it, to delay till next year. So when looking at all the projects, was decided the Trotwood Lane project, with a cost of about $250,000, we would push off to next year, and that would put us back in the positive like we needed to be. That would leave us about $40,000 in this year's budget that we would move into next year's budget and just add Trotwood to next year's projects. There's a few other roads in that area where Trotwood Lane is that could use some work. I believe the one was Pickwick.
Good place. Pickwick Place.
Pickwick Place, yeah, that is, Trotwood goes from Pickwick Place up and around and then back to Pickwick Place. So we're gonna take a look at maybe adding something else in that area so it can save on costs if we can group our projects. There's other roads that also need attention in the township, and some are, we have a lot of roads in this township that need repairing. And as our advisory committee, we have difficult decisions to make as to which roads to put on the 2024 plan, because if you guys drive around the township, there's a lot of bad roads. And we have very limited dollars for road repair. So the bottom line is we just don't have funds to fix all the roads that do need attention. So we're working on a 2024 project, but Trotwood Lane would be the first one. I know Supervisor Miller had to return a phone call to a lady who wanted to know when her road was gonna get done, which was Trotwood Lane, and I'm not sure how that went, but she probably wasn't real happy. But, as Mr. Stiff talked about fiduciary responsibilities, we can't spend more money than we have, which is the bottom line. Unless you guys have ARPA funds or something you can just throw in there, but anyways, that's basically my report. If you have any questions about projects, I have all that with me.
Thank you very much. Just an update, John. I spoke with the road commission, and they're gonna chloride the Bronx as they do all the other dirt roads in the township. It's going on the next couple of weeks. And then the Permazyme will go on next spring when we've got plenty of dry weather. And you mentioned it was $70,000. That was from block grant funds, but we also kicked in $26,000 to finish that project. And one of the reasons it waited so long in the year was because we can't start a project before we sign the contract with the County Planning Commission for the block grant funds. We didn't do that till the first week, like the 6th of August. So it'll be postponed. Thank you very much for that report.
Thank you.
So number 9, Mr. Treasurer.
Yes, back at me. Thank you. I'm authorized to pay the bills and do the acknowledgements and disbursements based on what is available and what has to be taken care of. All you trustees, you should have received copies of the invoices and/or disbursements. We have invoices amount of $1,621,000, and I'm reading it, $129.64. And these are all authorized through the board's purchasing approval policy, Section 8 expenditures. In addition, we have to issue tax disbursements in the amount of, and again, $12,354,458.70 for a total of invoices and tax disbursements in the totaling out of $13,975,588.34 in invoices and tax disbursements. Again, we'll mention this, as I've said it before, a lot of this is passed through. We are not paying somebody $13 million out of the township's reservoir, which we don't have. This is dollars that the tax department has collected and water department, and we have to dispense out. Also, at this point, we have payments to the Genesee County Drain Commission coming due, and it is going to be issued in the total amount of $1,298,860.58. So I'm asking the board this evening if you would please agree to this information that I just stated.
Do we have a motion? Is there a second to the motion on paying the bills?
Support.
Is there any questions for Mr. Treasurer? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, roll call, please, on the motion to pay the bills in the amount of $1,621,129.64.
Trustee Campbell,
Yes.
Treasurer Clee,
Yes, ma'am.
Clerk Triplett, yes. Supervisor Miller,
Yes.
Trustee Fabdal,
Yes.
Trustee Burt.
Yes.
Number 10, correspondence or information items. Is there anything for us? I think so. Alrighty, we're going to move on to new business. And the first thing we'll look at is actually action item B. It's the Carmen Ainsworth Homecoming permit through the Genesee County Road Commission. Are you going to handle that?
The gentleman in the second row, I stated front row, I'm sorry, is Mr. Michael Stewart, and Mike has the information. Podium's yours, sir, from CA.
Good evening. Thank you for having me, and thank you for your support for this parade that we're putting on. The kids are working hard, and I'm working harder, but that's okay. So the parade is going to be October 13th, and we'll kick off from South Baptist Church on Van Slyke Road at 4:30 p.m. This is going to be the 36th parade and homecoming for Carmen Ainsworth Schools, which ages us all. But I just want to say thank you, and I have an invitation here for all of you to come out to the parade and the homecoming game, and it's a great week of fun. It's a challenging week of fun for those of us in the classrooms, but the kids are ready for it. Our student council's working really hard, and we're teaching them lessons of leadership, and you can see by how many of them are here tonight. That's a joke. This is all on me. So, yeah, I would love to hand this invitation out to everybody, and
You can give it to Tracy and we'll get it after the meeting.
Okay.
Tracy Tucker, right here.
I didn't know what you were pointing at.
I'm going to chime in if I may. That invitation
Thank you.
to Tracy is for the police and fire departments to attend, and all of you. As you know, as you go down Maple Road, fill in at anybody's yard that you want. Everybody's so positive about it. And one thing Michael stated, and he doesn't know this yet, or maybe has reminded him, Wednesday evening is a great night to be at the stadium. It's our Powder Puff, and I'll be announcing it as always. He's running the clock right next to me. And it is so much fun. The girls are going against each other, juniors against seniors. Any of you welcome? You're welcome to come up and sit in the press box with us. We laugh, have a good time. We can use all the spotters that we can get up there. And if it's raining, everybody wants to come to our press box. And the same goes for Friday night. We play Bay City Central Wolves, and you're welcome to come to the game and welcome to come to the press box. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Play
Saginaw United.
Saginaw United.
That's right. Bay City is this Friday.
This week.
Saginaw United is in 2 weeks.
So we need a motion to approve the permit for the road commission to close the road
Cleve
for the
would move
parade.
that we accept the permit from the Carmen Ainsworth School District presented by the Student Council of the high school.
Second.
Any questions or discussion? All those in favor of approving the permit to close the road for the parade route signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? You're all set.
Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.
See you in the morning.
So does he follow up with the road commissioner? We send that over.
You guys need to sign it.
Sign it, yep.
One of you sign it, and then I think you send it in with your stuff.
Yeah, don't run away, Mike.
You can come get this.
Yeah, whoever has applied for it for you, have you guys applied on the Oxcart thing yet?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so you'll need to upload this. Not, Money, in
Not
the
this one.
packet, there should be an actual resolution for the, Johnson County Road Commission.
It wasn't.
Oh, this is for the road commission?
Yeah, keep going, right there.
There it is. Yep.
He needs
And his
that.
insurance statement is there.
And he needs the, that next one.
The
to
next one also.
permit. That one, yep.
Both of you need to sign that, I think.
No, I think it's just
Just
the
her.
clerk.
My second time.
That's okay.
I'm still learning.
Not a problem. They keep changing it too. Up at the top on the left-hand side, there's a spot for the township to sign as the, just a representative. Yeah.
Thank you for your assistance.
Yeah, no problem.
So she went like this.
All set. Thank you. So we'll move on to action item A. The PEG funds distribution. Did you want to speak on that?
Yeah, they asked for these funds for the, hold on, let me open it again. Mr. Warren requested these they're looking to upgrade a projector and laptop in the cafeteria for students to view their broadcast, and they're looking at adding some audio-video equipment, so that the broadcasting students can videotape activities in the auditorium, plays, concerts, etc. However, he did not give me an amount. I put that $2,500 as a placeholder. I talked to,
Lisa Murphy?
Kevin McIntyre.
Oh, Kevin Mac,
I wanted to make sure, I mean, I'm not sure how much they need. If you want to do up to, 8,000, that was what we had given them in the past. And there are funds there to do that. So we could do it as up to 8,000 for that project until we find out how much they actually need.
So typically, the percentage of the breakdown, Carmen Ainsworth usually gets the larger percentage compared to Flushing and Swartz Creek.
Right, because it's based on how many houses are
Serviced in each
serviced.
district,
Yes.
right.
Would someone like to make the motion?
Clee would move to accept the recommendation from Michael Warren over at Carmen Ainsworth Middle School to have the PEGS funds moved his way for his updates.
We need you to state an amount, please.
Oh, I'm sorry, to not exceed $8,000. Pardon me.
To not exceed. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Any questions? Do we have?
May I? All right, I'm sorry again. This isn't money coming out, this is money coming out of the bank account, but, and I know a lot of you have heard this before, the PEGS money is collected from Comcast, and it's allocated to the districts that are within the taxable area that we're in. It's, again, this is a pass-through, and each of the representatives, Carmen Ainsworth, Swartz Creek, and Flushing, being in our township, are eligible for PEGS monies. And I will say this, 20 years ago, I was out there initiating the first request for the PEGS monies to go to both buildings. So this is a nice feature from Comcast but the local municipality has to collect the money, and then they have to come and the districts have to come and ask for it and show what they did, and they always do that. So that's just my 2 cents.
So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Because it's a $8,000 amount,
Yep.
please do a roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Fabdo?
Yes.
Supervisor Miller?
Yes.
Clerk Triplett, yes. Treasurer Clee?
Yes.
Trustee Campbell?
Yes.
Trustee Burke?
Yes.
Thank you. Action item C, I believe that's you, Chief Salter.
Yes, ma'am, it is. I emailed it to you last Thursday or Friday, the packet for ballistic shields or bulletproof shields. I'd like to equip every one of my patrol vehicles with that shield. It offers more protection to the officer and possibly the public if they needed it. We've got 3 different vendors, we got 3 different quotes for it, and the cheapest one we could find is from RTS Tactical for $21,419.87. So I recommend the board use JAG funds, which would not come out of the general fund budget or a millage fund budget, to purchase the 14 shields.
Thank you.
Clee would move to accept Chief Salter's recommendation to purchase the 14 level 3A ballistic shields at the cost of $21,419.87. And as he stated, from the JAG funding, not impacting the general fund nor the public safety millage.
Can you name the company that we're going to go
Sure.
with?
I'm sorry, from RTS, sorry, Chief. RTS Tactical as the best quality for the value rather than the other phrase that was used a minute ago. I'd
So-
rather prefer safety than cheap.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second it.
You can choose.
Yeah.
Flip a coin.
Any questions for Chief Salter?
Thanks for chasing them.
How long will it take for to
Us to get
install?
'em, yeah.
I don't know, I gotta look at that.
What do they weigh, roughly?
16 to 20 pounds, depends on what version it is.
Okay. And do they have, I can't remember, do they have the?
Viewport, yes.
The viewport for you guys, so you're guarded and protected?
Correct.
Thank you, sir. Good
All right.
stuff.
If there's no further questions or discussion, Madam Clerk, roll call, please, on the purchase of the ballistic shield through RT, was it Services?
RTS,
RTS.
tactical.
Yes.
Tactical.
In the amount of $21,419.87.
Trustee Fabdo?
Yes.
Supervisor Miller?
Yes.
Trustee Burt?
Yes.
Treasurer Clee?
Yes.
Trustee Campbell? Yes. And Clerk Triplett, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Board.
Action item D is the Genesee County Solid Waste Management Plan. You have it before you. We've had this since July,
Right.
and I hope you've had a chance to peruse it. I'm not sure you read all 541 pages. But we had Cody Robler here from the Genesee County Planning Commission. I've also forwarded to you information from the Drain Commission on their position of this plan. So now, if you're ready, we need a motion to move forward and vote on this.
We would move to accept the recommendations from the Genesee County Road Commission.
No.
I'm sorry.
Planning Commission.
Planning Commission, sorry. To chase after the Genesee County Solid Waste Management Plan.
Is there a second to the motion to approve the plan?
A second.
Any questions or discussion? Not that anyone's here to answer, but hearing none. Madam Clerk, roll call, please, on the motion to approve the Genesee County Solid Waste Management Plan.
Supervisor Miller?
Yes.
Trustee Burt?
Yes.
Trustee Fabdo?
Yes.
Clerk Triplett, yes. Treasurer Clee?
Yes, ma'am.
And Trustee Campbell?
Yes.
Thank you. Action item E is nominations for the vacant trustee position. Before we go on, rather than naming names, I would like to make the suggestion that we nominate everybody on the list that interviewed. Is that acceptable to everybody? Would someone like to do that?
I know we can't.
I'm
To
like,
Just to nominate
upload the entire list
Everyone on the list.
everyone on the list. You don't have to name them by name.
out of 13 out of 14, all at once.
Okay, I'll make the motion that we accept all the applicants for the vacant trustee position tonight.
To nominate them, yes.
Nominate.
Great.
Support.
We don't have to vote on that. We're going to vote on the names. So we've discussed this. We're going to do a roll call vote. And when your name is called, you're going to vote for the person that you feel is best qualified. And Madam Clerk is going to call your name, and you just give us the name of the person you want to vote for. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Pretty simple. All righty. When you're ready.
Trustee Burt?
Harry Blecker.
Trustee Fabdo?
Connie Williams.
Supervisor Miller?
Bill McKay.
Clerk Triplett Kenyatta? Treasurer Clee?
David Huffman.
And Trustee Campbell? Kenyatta Dotson.
All righty, no one received 4 votes, four times. We're going to do this again. Madam Clerk?
Trustee Fabdo?
Connie Williams again.
Supervisor Miller?
Bill McKay?
Clerk Triplett Kenyatta? Treasurer Clee?
David Huffman.
And Trustee Campbell? Kenyatta.
No one got 4 votes, we're going to start
You still
again.
got one
I
left.
gotta give Burt.
You missed
Oh, I
Barb.
apologize.
Yeah. Trustee Burt?
Harry Blicker.
No one still got 4 votes, so now we're going to go again. Madam Clerk?
Supervisor Miller,
Dave Huffman.
Clerk Triplett, Kareem Snail. Treasurer Clee,
She said
She said
Kareem.
number
Kareem Snail.
I was like, what?
Treasurer Clee,
Dave Huffman.
Trustee Campbell,
Kenyatta.
Trustee Burt,
Harry Blicker.
and Trustee Fabdo.
Kenyatta.
We still don't have 4 votes, Madam Clerk.
You're up.
Clerk Triplett, Connie. Treasurer Clee,
Greg King.
Trustee Campbell,
Kenyatta.
Trustee Burt,
Harry Blicker.
Trustee Fabdo,
Kenyatta.
Supervisor Miller,
Harry Blecker. Still don't have 4 votes. We'll go again.
Trustee Clee,
Greg King.
Trustee Campbell,
Kenyatta.
Trustee Burt,
Harry Blicker.
Trustee Fabdo,
King.
Supervisor Miller,
Harry Blecker.
and Clerk Triplett, King.
So we have somebody who got 3 votes, but not 4 yet. They don't have the majority. Madam Clerk, go again, please.
Trustee Campbell,
Kenyatta.
Trustee Burt,
Harry Blicker.
Trustee Fabdo,
Kenyatta.
Supervisor Miller,
Harry Blecker.
Clerk Triplett, Kenyatta. Treasurer Clee,
Greg King.
So we still do not have a majority. We'll start over. Madam Clerk, we'll start with Trustee Vert.
Harry Blicker.
Trustee Fabdo,
Kenyatta.
Supervisor Miller,
Harry Blecker.
Clerk Triplett, Kenyatta. Treasurer Clee,
Roger Powell.
Trustee Campbell,
Kenyatta.
We don't have 4. We don't have a majority. We'll go again.
Trustee Fabdo,
Kenyatta.
Supervisor Miller,
Harry Blecker.
Clerk Triplett, King. Treasurer Clee,
Greg King.
The socialist?
Trustee Campbell,
Kenyatta.
Yeah, we can't have the audience talking.
Trustee Burt,
Harry Blicker.
We don't have a majority.
okay, Supervisor Miller,
Harry Blecker.
Clerk Triplett, King. Treasurer Clee,
Greg King.
Trustee Campbell,
Kenyatta.
Trustee Burt,
Harry Blacker.
Trustee Fabdo,
Kenyatta.
So we can keep doing this. We don't have to stop, but I'll tell you that if we don't come to a consensus by September 29th, it will go out for an election. And I think I mentioned last week that this won't fall on whether you call it a caucus or a primary, that's in February or March. It would be a standalone, at least that's the information I got from the county clerk, that we would have our own election in May. So
Money's on us, right?
the money would be on us to pay for that election, so I'm fine to continue. If everyone else is, can you do it again, Madam Clerk?
okay, Clerk Triplett, Kenyatta, Treasurer Clee,
Greg King.
Trustee Campbell,
Kenyatta.
Trustee Burt,
Harry Blacker.
Trustee Fabdo,
Kenyatta.
Supervisor Miller,
Ray Blecker.
same thing again.
We have 2 and 2, but not 4. You want to try again?
Treasurer Clee,
Greg King.
Trustee Campbell,
Kenyatta.
Trustee Burt,
Harry Blacker.
Trustee Fabdo,
Kenyatta.
Supervisor Miller,
Ray Blecker.
Trustee Clerk, Clerk Triplett. Oh. King,
So we have 2, 2, and 2. Let's go again. Who starts it?
Trustee Campbell,
Kenyatta.
Trustee Burt,
Harry Blacker.
Trustee Fabdo,
King.
Supervisor Miller,
Ray Blecker.
Clerk Triplett, King, Treasurer Clee.
King.
So we have 3 for King, but not 4, so go again, please. Starting back with Barb.
Trustee Burt,
Harry Blacker.
Trustee Fabdo,
King.
Supervisor Miller,
Ray Blecker.
Clerk Triplett, King, Treasurer Clee.
King.
Trustee Campbell,
Well, so we don't continue with ties and ties, King.
3, 4, we have a majority. Greg King has gotten the majority to be the next trustee. Congratulations.
Welcome.
Yeah, he's in the back row. So our next meeting is October 2nd, and if there's no further business, and without objection, we'll call the meeting adjourned.